All right, let's start with some Olympic chitter chatter. This is another Grit and Grime basketball podcast, Summer Olympic special edition, with my special host, Thomas Arnal.
G'day.
And my other special host, come on, man, that's a low blow.
I didn't do it on purpose. I was talking to some Aussies today. So.
My other special host, Jose Garcia Vidal.
Still crying.
He's not the happiest right now, but we'll
still crying.
We'll get to that. We've got some quarterfinals to talk about. The men's quarterfinals were today. The women's quarterfinals will be tomorrow. So we'll cover those in our next episode. But we have, I think they're tonight, really, like technically.
Tonight. Yeah.
I think they're done, actually.
Really?
No, they were after the men's.
You sure?
Yeah, I checked it. So
you're right. Tonight.
So we begin with the first men's quarterfinal, which was Slovenia versus Germany. Slovenia, obviously, toting the great Luka Doncic, who only signs less autographs than Novak Djokovic, second biggest star at the Olympics. Slovenia ran out, 94-70 winners. It wasn't that big of a lead the whole game. Early on, I think Germany even took the lead or tied it with a low 3 in the first quarter, maybe. No, second quarter, because it was 30. Yeah, it was 31 or something like that, or 32-31. He continued his good play, but now out of the tournament. It ended up being a very comfortable victory. Luka got in a little bit of foul trouble, I think. Missed some minutes. But Zoran Dragic took over the mantle and did a great job. He was carving them up, ended up with 27 points on 13 shots. 11 for 13. That is just
and
dissected with a knife.
Right?
Yeah.
Vince Carter.
Yeah. So after Luka actually sat out the last 3 minutes, Zoran was still in. And yeah, he hit a bucket and so it was over. And then Goran was at home watching, emulating
that was really
it
cool
as well. So if you're on social media, you would have seen that. And really it was the Zoran show. Toby hit some threes. Doncic was mostly distributing. He finished with 20 points, but the 11 assists were much louder. Germany got some production, 2 players in double figures, as I said. Low hit some key threes. Giffey was the other person in double digits, but they struggled to keep up. They struggled to keep up with the Slovenia offense.
0 points for Wank. That'll be the last time we mention his name. So can't go anywhere with no.
Going out with a whimper.
Yeah. You need a good Wank to be pro.
Oh my God. I find it really interesting how Slovenia, obviously they have good players, right? Like take Luka Doncic out of the equation and you see really good players. Obviously they know how to play basketball. They have a good coaching staff, but that one guy, my God, he makes all the difference in the world. It's just crazy, you know? It reminded me, so I actually, and we're going to talk about the Argentinian coach later, but he had an interview a couple of years ago with football broadcasters in Argentina, and they were talking about the role of the coach in basketball, right? Because it was a football show. And he said the coach is not as important as the players are. So you can have Greg Popovich, you know, because we always look up to Greg Popovich always because of Manu. Greg Popovich coached the worst team in any division, and the best team in any division, and they might not win. But if you bring LeBron James to the worst team in the division, they might be champions because of him. You know, that one player, in this case Luka Doncic, has such a deep impact in the style of play. Like it just makes everything easy for everybody else, and everybody else just focuses on doing what they do and doing what they do well.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Basketball as a 5-man sport, one man can influence the game a lot more than other sports. So, like, given the comparison to football, like, if
100%.
you can't get the ball to Messi, Messi doesn't exist. His team could lose 10-0 if the ball never gets to him, right? Whereas the ball can always find the best player in a basketball game. Yeah, I haven't really got more to say about it.
I can just say that Doncic is now 17-0 with the Slovenian.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's not lost a game.
Never lost. Oh man. And who do they face next?
As
You're gonna believe
France.
It's okay. He'll be 17-1. He'll be 17-1.
No,
you gotta
sir.
start somewhere.
No, sir.
I'd rather him be 17-1 than 18-1. You know
that boy don't lose. That boy don't lose.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I guess we move on to the next side of the quarterfinal. We jump over to Spain versus Team USA. Another game that was close throughout, as we've seen many times in this Olympics, with Team USA eventually developing a comfortable double-digit lead, but they initially went down by double digits in the first. Was it the first quarter? Yeah, or the second quarter?
But yeah, first and second. Yeah,
first and second. Yeah.
They went down double digits and then were able to claw it back. I think initially that lead was built with when Kevin Durant went to the bench, and then it just took a while for the non-Durant players to find their groove.
Yeah, but Durant didn't start the game scoring well. Like, he missed quite a lot of shots in the first two quarters, and nobody else was scoring really. The US struggled in the first two quarters to find their rhythm, and Spain was just everything they were doing. They were doing it well, so they were full of confidence. And that's the only way that you can beat the US. But the problem is that it's really hard to maintain that confidence, that rhythm for 40 minutes.
And Team USA played really fast. They were getting out in the periods where they started to take control of the game. They were getting out on the break and getting fast break buckets. I think that was a purposeful plan, knowing how slow and how old Spain is. I know Rudy Fernandez got in early foul trouble, and someone else did as well. We didn't see much Pau Gasol. We didn't see much Marc Gasol in this game. I think they combined for about 15 minutes. And they went with
and I think that's right. That's right. You can't play them. They just sticks. Massive sticks. Hernan Gomez. And Hernan Gomez played really well in defense, specifically in the first two quarters half. With those. Yeah. He had four blocks.
4 blocks. Yeah.
Right. Blocking Bam, Booker, Lillard. Tatum. I think he's underrated as well. Like, he has so much potential.
It's funny, that game, because there's two things that really were highlighted for me. Is that in terms of setups, the two teams are very similar. So you have that one guy that both team depends on in terms of scoring. It's like you've got Rubio on the one side. It's like when he's off the floor, it's a complete different team. The Spanish team looks absolutely different. They looked a lot slower. They look like they struggle a bit more to score. And then on the other side, it's like when KD's on the bench, suddenly, even though they've got his firepower, it somehow doesn't click anymore. They get stuck with maybe more of a FIBA sort of basketball type, and they're still figuring that out. When he comes back, then it's more like, I'm not going to say it's hero ball, but it's almost like, there you go, KD. Like, we'll play defense, we'll be physical and we run, but like, here's the ball, you shoot, you make those shots. It's a bit of a caricature what I'm saying, but it's like, to sum it up, if you just to look at those two teams, it's very similar. But then what you said, David, is very right, is that to hope to beat Team USA, you have to be able to run. You have to be able to run for 40 minutes. And that's what I'm saying. Teams like France, who's built on physicality, teams like maybe Australia can hold that pace also. In Slovenia, apparently they're indestructible. They could do that also. I don't know if they'll be in a good shape if they get to the final. but they could certainly try and do that. Doncic is used to play 40 plus minutes in the NBA, so he can do it here if he doesn't get into foul trouble. So it'll be interesting to see their next matchup. But and it's I mean, it's a bit of a weird one for me though on the Spanish game. So it's like I'm very much not sad to see them lose because the history. But then also the Gasol brothers, I'm like, I mean they're beasts, but I'm like, so it was very weird because I was like, if like on the one hand I'm like, I'm glad they're gone now, I don't have to face those guys anymore, but also I'm happy they were there because they pushed us to become better.
Yeah.
And they can say the same with Team USA. Yeah, and Spain and Team USA is what Spain is to us. So for the Spaniards, they have to push themselves to be better because they wanted to catch up to Team USA. So we all have our different races.
Absolutely, I agree. I think,
but yeah. So at least I'm glad they were here. I'm glad we got to play them, but also I'm glad they're gone.
Yeah, just think of how long we've been seeing Pau play in like the big leagues, right? Like I can't remember watching him play in the EuroLeague before he went to Memphis in 2001, but I do remember he being drafted, and debuting with a dunk over Kevin Garnett. I remember that very vividly. Like he was just what a guy, and he had an amazing career. And I think that what's valuable is not that he had an amazing NBA career, but exactly what you say now, Tom, is how he pushed everybody else in the FIBA world, right? Especially in Europe, because obviously he played you more than he played us. But they did become, eventually Spain was the same as it was to you, but only in international games because they beat us like 3 times in 3 finals and 3 quarterfinals, and it was always the same, right? So it's sad to see both of them go. Thankfully, we still have Mark in the NBA, but and I guess Pau is, I don't know how long he has left in the EuroLeague.
He's supposed to be playing for Barcelona next year, but I don't think I don't think he said he was gonna figure it out with his family.
Yeah, I guess so.
But that talks like pre-retirement. That's how it sounds like. It's like FYI.
Yeah,
I'm going.
Yeah. Forget about it. Imagine the guy with 42. Like
he's 41, so it'll turn 42 very soon. So
yeah, but I mean, like if he plays one more season, he'll be 42 at the end of the season. Like he just, I can't see it. I don't see it. He left on a very high note with in Olympics, even though he didn't win. But he's like live when you're ahead almost, right? Even though you're not ahead, but it's like a really good image that he needs right now. Yeah. Just I think he ended up in the final, the EuroLeague as well.
Final,
so it's like, come on, you're fine. But visually on the court, though, he looks like he looks like me, like he can't move laterally and can't defend. So it's a bit like, I know your pain. We're the same age. Just retire. Come and join us, Pau. If you're listening. London.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, absolute legends. Like you guys have said, both NBA champions, both world champions. They just didn't ever get that Olympic medal, did they?
Gold.
They got bronze,
silver.
No,
and silver.
They never quite got it. But they played in what was, to me, one of the best actual basketball games I've ever seen in my life, which was the 2008 final. Oh my God, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was the best basketball game I've ever seen.
At the time, I definitely said it was. I don't know if some of the stuff I've seen since has overtaken it, but that game was just incredible. The tension, the ability, just some of the basketball was breathtaking. But here we are. And I looked down this box score, and out of that old team, the old guard, Sergio Llull had 6 points. Sergio Rodriguez had 16. And there was only actually 6 players on the Spanish team that scored points.
Yeah.
And
because Ricky did the rest.
Yeah.
He went there.
Fernandez didn't score. Pau Gasol didn't score. Marc Gasol didn't score. Alberto Abalde didn't score.
Oh, Abalde.
And Abrinas didn't score in 28 minutes.
Yeah.
They almost didn't shoot either. It's like Abrinas had 2 shots. about this. They didn't shoot at all. So
yeah,
can't make them.
So
The
there needs to be a new generation.
You can't. So Spain, absolutely. Spain in how do I say? Spain shares the ball more when they play at their own rhythm, but you can't play at your rhythm again. It all goes back to you can't play at your rhythm because the USA is going to kill you. So they need to match that rhythm, and that makes top players come up and say, okay, I'm just gonna shoot them all. And Rubio was having a great night, so why not just keep doing it, right? But unfortunately, that means that you're the only one that's gonna score.
Yeah.
It's gonna sting. It's gonna sting for Rubio when he's gonna go back to the US. It's like, who am I playing with now?
Man.
Like, I'm on what team? Like, I'm with the Cavs.
Hey.
What's the Cavs?
With the $100 million man.
What's
Dollar
that?
man.
What's that thing? Oh god, I mean,
The most expensive afro ever.
I hope he gets traded though, like for his sake. I
Come to the Lakers.
Yeah, man.
It's too young. Well, we'll talk about that.
Or the Nets.
Yeah, they need a point guard, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But on the Team USA side, Zach LaVine was in double digits. Dame was in double digits. KD led the team with 29. Tatum was in double digits with 13. Drew Holiday also in double digits with 12. And I thought in that period, after KD went to the bench, it took them a while to get going. But I think Draymond Green really started to facilitate things with his screening action and ball movement. And it was kind of like he was playing with 4 Stephs out there. I think the lineup was him, Middleton, Dame, Tatum, and who was the other guy? Was it Booker still?
Was it Booker at some point?
Or was LaVine out there? One of the two.
Booker sometimes.
Yeah, and he would just, like, one of them would have it on the perimeter. He would go screen, and then he would receive the ball in the middle and drive and kick out to someone else. They might drive, and they were just getting that sort of penetration and dish out to 3, and they eventually started to find a rhythm. And then when KD came back in, they were already in rhythm, and he was the beneficiary of some of those driving kicks. Started making them himself. And I think Team USA simplified the offense in that way and were able to just overpower Spain in the end. But yeah, that's it. They still didn't do very much at the rim. They would get to the rim just so they could kick it out. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare in their next game.
Yeah.
Which will be against the winner of Italy, France.
Why? No.
No?
Australia, Argentina.
Oh, so France can't meet them until the final.
No, we can't. I said last time we can't meet Team USA until the finals.
Okay, I stand corrected. So on the other side of the bracket, we have Italy.
Go
France.
back to the other side. Yes. Hang on, let me go. I'm just going back to my box score because I forgot the whole thing. What was it? 84-75 final score. It was a weird game, unnecessarily stressful for me. Where we started very bad. I think the end of the first quarter was 27-20 for Italy, and we had a bunch of turnovers, about 6 or 7. It was just horrible to watch. We didn't move the ball. And I think the players came out after that saying they were a bit stressed because of the, it's the quarterfinal sort of things, more like we don't want to lose this. So they almost came in like, by being too cautious and trying to take. Yeah, it's like when you like, let's be cautious to take care of the world. Suddenly the opposite happens. You start messing things up. So that's what they did. So I think they put too much stress on themselves. They had too much pressure. It got better towards the end of to the half. I think we were level at that point, and then the third quarter we started playing proper, like we should see them play. We got up by, I think we were up by 13 or 15 at one point. I think 13, just before the end of the third, and then bang, the classic. Let's get stressed out again. France did the Team USA in game 1, which is let's not make any basket and let the other team get back into it. But then eventually my sanity came back, and I could breathe again when, when Rudy Gobert did a 360 on the last play.
Yeah, that was insane.
Nasty.
Like that is the least air I've seen.
The least
on a
air you've ever seen
360.
in your life, right? That
Get
much
into the dunk
separation.
contest, man. Get into the dunk contest.
Yeah, so the obviously the funny enough, what was it? A bad shooting night for Italy. Like this, they shot, what was it, 32% overall. So I don't know if it was good defense from us or bad shooting from them. I know that was his face. The guy was talking about Nico Manion started okay, like he was aggressive, and then suddenly ended up with 10% shooting. So he actually airballed and bricked a lot of shots. Like, and so a couple of them were wide open, and I was like, that's not a good. Like, if you want to beat France, you need to make those wide opens. Like there were a couple shots that where like when the momentum shifts, and you got to make those shots to kill the opponent. Well, they didn't do that, so we got lucky, I guess, on that front. But then Gallinari started playing also, and good old Fontecchio, who suddenly transformed into Kobe and just went, nah, I'm not looking at the rim, I'm just shooting, and then made it rain on one shot. I don't know if you saw that one. Like, he went super high and went, woo. He shot over Gobert a couple times, like right in his face. So he went all Super Saiyan over us. And Polonara as well on Italy. It was good. I think he ended up with 15.
Yeah.
So they had the momentum in the fourth quarter where we were thinking they could do this, and then suddenly France managed to go back thanks to Batum in parts. That was, scored 15, I think 14 rebounds with that. And a bunch of assists, I think 3 assists, and a bunch of blocks also. Like, he had a chase down block. I don't know if you saw that one, when the Italian player was about to go and dunk it, and he came back, he went bang, not today. So defensively it was okay from France. It was more on the offensive end where it was a bit messy at the time. I think it's partly due to the way the Italian played. They gave everything, and also the fear of missing out on the semifinals. Yeah. The fear of going France, Switzerland when you're up, and suddenly you're messing up everything and you'll get beaten in overtime. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. And then a special mention for TLC, from the Nets, who only scored 5, but his buckets, his only basket, and his 2 free throws were the reason not, but they made a difference in key moments. And he also played well defensively. I think he took upon himself to guard Gallinari at one point when Gallinari was starting to catch fire. And I think that's it. There, Gobert had 22, also 9 rebounds. I think that's about it. Fournier had 21, celebrating his new contracts on the Knicks. I think that's about it. I mean, if you look at, like, France shot better, they 48% almost for 32 for Italy. Yeah, I think they just need to rest now for the semifinals against Serbia. I was going to say Serbia, Slovenia. Jesus. And we'll see. The matchup I was looking for actually is quite interesting. I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen next. Obviously, France has suffered against teams that shoot the 3 well. Like, we always have this adjustment period in the first quarter when we don't go in the game quite as we should. We always have to play catch up and go back into it. It's just annoying. And against Slovenia, I want to see what sort of defense we're going to play on them shooting threes is going to be.
Yeah.
I want to see what it's going to get. Is he going to go Frankie Smokes on Doncic right in there?
Smoke, nice.
We've got a bunch of point guards that can play defense, Smokes and Albisi. The defensive minded players. So if they don't pick up that many fouls, they can be, we could defend Doncic, but then Slovenia has shown they can have Doncic just passing the ball and have the other guy shooting. So it's going to be a tricky one. The last thing I'll say is just the one thing that France, like the only one advantage that France has over every other team that is still remaining there is the big guys that keep getting back. Like there's nobody that can match France inside. Nobody. Like when we get Gobert out, we got Fall that comes in, and he's just as much as a pain. Like he's not scoring that much in the Olympics. He's not But like these regular seasons with my team in EuroLeague, like he can dominate anyone. And he's got that spin move, but like they start backing you up against the basket. There's nothing.
Quite agile, man. Like he's quite agile. Yeah.
He's weird looking. He's got this massive legs, and he doesn't feel like he's very well coordinated, but he knows what he's doing. Like once he's backing you up, you're done. It's either 2+1 or it's a basket. So it's very difficult to protect your basket against those type of players. That's that.
All right. That brings us to the last of the quarterfinals. Another legend walked away from the game. Australia, Argentina.
Yeah. I think it's really hard to analyze this game, man. Like I was just looking at the box score, and we can go and check the stats of the players. The problem is that Argentina won the first quarter by 4 points. Scored 22 points, and then we scored 11, and 15, I think, or 15, 11, 11. So the game was over at the beginning of the fourth quarter, really, when Australia started scoring 3-pointers like crazy. There was a dunk with an and one, and a couple of extra dunks. And the problem is that Argentina didn't have enough firepower, right? You could see that Scola was tired, but they were also defending him pretty well. Unfortunately, we only had La Provitola playing really well in the first quarter, and even though Campazzo was, he was, putting his energy in as he always does, like giving some crazy passes here and there and defending, it just wasn't enough. Like I mean, Australia was far superior. It is a superior team, so it was, very well earned, and they played as they always do. Very, good in defense. They did, good scouting, I think, from the coach and stuff as well. They did exactly what they need to do against Argentina. I think the highlight of the night is just when the game stopped to see Scola, leaving for the last time, I think, with the Argentinian team. I think that I saw an interview that he did with the Argentinian media afterwards, and the only thing that he said is that, like, nobody, like, I have a lot of people that have told me I'm a bad guy, a lot of people that tell me I'm a good guy, or that don't like me, that hate me, whatever, and that's fine, but nobody will ever be able to say that I didn't work hard enough, so for him to say that, I was like almost crying. And then for him, he said, like, the best thing I can take away from the game is the respect from my peers and my rivals. That's amazing. So all the respect in the world. 5 Olympics. He played for the Argentina national team for 22 years for the senior team, and he never missed a single tournament besides the ones that he was injured. But that's amazing. So even the smallest FIBA Americas tournament, he would play them, coming back from China, from the US, from wherever, So I think that's super valuable, a lesson of hard work. And at 41, he was still the top scorer, I think, at least in a couple of games. So that, the difference between Spain and Argentina is that Spain has more firepower than Argentina does. Unfortunately, we had a couple of injuries with Garino, for example, who started the first 2 games, and he's actually a really good player offensively, and we didn't have him. But Scola is the main scorer still until today. Until today, he was the first offensive option. So, sad to see him leave, but happy to see somebody getting so much respect as an Argentinian person. I am very proud of him.
I mean, I almost had a tear. I almost had a tear when I saw him going on the bench. Like when he started crying, also I was like, "Yeah, damn it, I'm not crying." But yeah, he's a legend. I'm quite lucky that I've seen him twice in real life playing in front of me. So it's just
nice.
He's just a massive guy as well, physically, but so clever on the court. Also, so very clever. I miss him. He looked like a good guy to have on your team, lead your team. But yeah, it's at least now you've got a next chapter starting with.
We're gonna go. Argentina needs to go to a rebuilding now. And we have 2 really good point guards that are going to be the face of the team for the next couple of years. I think maybe at least the next 2 tournaments. Campazzo and La Provitola, obviously. And then you see great future in Deck, for example. Bolmaro, who's going to go to the NBA. Vildosa, who had a terrible tournament but has so much potential. I think. Yeah, exactly. So there's always something. Like the same thing happened when Manu retired. When Pepe Sanchez retired, when Prigioni retired. Like there's always going to be more players. So I think it's necessary. It's necessary, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one thing though is it's very hard to analyze this game because I've watched it. Yeah, I watched the entire thing, but like the second half was just. It's one of those games that you see now and then when like nothing makes sense. When you've got Dante Exum starting making threes and dunking in the traffic, you're like, what can I like? What can you say? Like, what's that? It's like if I suddenly we play on Sunday morning and I'm starting dunking on everyone. It's like that makes no sense. It's a one-off. Like, what are you gonna do about this? Like, there's nothing to analyze. It won't happen again. But you know what I mean? It's like there's one moment in the game I think when it was like Australia was just making everything and anything, and I was like,
yeah.
Like, and I was thinking about this moment right now, and I was like, what can you say about this? I'm like, there's nothing you can say. It's literally they can chuck whatever, it'll go in, and they probably get an N1 with it. It's like, So in terms of talking about this game, it's like it's one of those games where it was the end for one team, and the other team is just very sure of what they do, and they know themselves, and they know they want to play Team USA, and it was like that was their one goal. Because Australia is a bit like Belgium in football, they've been knocking at that door for a long time. It's like, look at us, we've got great players on paper, but they never won anything, or they never went past the quarterfinals or the semifinals, or like every time they play for a medal game, they get beat and they finish fourth. So I think it was like their goal is to go, okay, let's play semifinals, let's play, give everything against Team USA and see what happens. And I think, you can't really analyze even the Australian game today. Like it's the same thing that the friendly game before the Olympics against Team USA. It's one of those games like they shot 25 threes in one game. Like,
yeah.
What can you say? It's hard to analyze that.
It's hard to analyze, but the thing is also like, and it is harder to analyze in that game because the USA was still scoring. Like Argentina just stopped scoring. We didn't score. I think we scored our first basket in the fourth quarter when there was 5 minutes left or something like that. It was just ridiculous. And it's like super demoralizing. But what can I say, man? Like, shout out to Australia. Like I think I agree with what you just said. They deserve to win, and they deserve to at least get a medal because this team has been growing a lot lately, and I think they deserve it. They play well. I like their coaching staff. I like their program, and they've been good for a long time. And Australia has always been, like if you see the top 5 scorers in the Olympic history, the second one is an Australian guy, right? Like, and I obviously as a Spurs fan, I love to see Patty Mills there. Actually, he's not a Spurs anymore, but
we'll get to that.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah.
I wanted him so bad. He's not. That's crazy.
It's just sad that it's the last game for Scholar has to be this massive blowout.
Yeah.
It's just that's the one bit that I'm like, it sucks that it has to be that way. Like, also you can say on the flip side, you can say, well, do you want him to lose on a buzzer beater last second? Is that how you want to go out? Not really. But
that would probably be worse.
Yeah.
It's probably even worse. But like, like let's say you do it's a 10-point game. It was close till the end, and then whatever, that would have been okay. But like a blowout like that, I'm like, come on.
Yeah. But hey, you got his acknowledgement.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if this game is that hard to analyze, how will you predict the next round?
I got everything right in this round. Okay, I'm 100%. I'm 4 for 4. So, Jose, you go first because I don't know.
I think that Australia might give the US a good fight, but in the end, I I think that the US might take it, man. They're full of confidence now after beating Spain. That was their biggest test, I think, confidence-wise, because the team needed to prove itself. Not the US as an institution, Team USA as an institution, is this team, this coaching staff, exactly. So they beat Spain. They're like full with confidence now, and unfortunately, Australia is missing Baines, which was a great option defensively, especially. So I think US Slovenia. Sorry.
No, like I said, when we're doing not predictions, but like the first Olympic special, I say you asked me like, what do you want for France? I was like, if we make it to the semis, I'm happy. It's like, so I'm done.
Want to get a medal.
It's all good from now on. It's like if we lose to Slovenia, we still have the bronze medal to go for. It's our first semi-final since 2000 actually, since we made the finals against Team USA. I'm happy regardless. Even if we lose to Doncic, it's a win-win for me. I mean, no, it's not really win-win. I'm still obviously, if France wins, I'll probably be in front of my computer screen going, I want to win this. But if we lose, I'll be very quick. I won't look at it. I won't cry for 2 days. I'll be like, okay, it's fine. I got second shot now in the final.
A medal still as well.
Yeah, still a shot for a medal. Like whatever happens from now on for France, I'm okay with it. So I'm gonna keep it nationalistic. I'm gonna go Team USA, France in the finals. But if it's Team USA, Slovenia, I'm okay with it too.
I've got to go with my picks. I did pick Slovenia to win the whole thing, so I'm going Slovenia, USA in the finals.
It's underdog for once. I've never been an underdog, so
you're not, trust me. All right. So now that that's out the way, other goings on around the Olympics before we jump to the NBA. I've been watching some things. Track and field started. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm a big track and field guy. I used to run track at university. So I tuned into the 100 meters finals, men's and women's. Amazing performances from Thompson and Jacobs, winning for Jamaica and Italy respectively.
See, that's why we had to beat Italy, because they won too many things this season. They had the Euro, they won the Eurovision, and they won the 100 meters. That's enough, guys. You stop.
They did win the Eurovision. Yeah,
they have to stop. Like three major things in 1 year. You gotta know when to quit.
Eurovision was definitely doping.
New Mario Bros coming out, right? Like.
Just running everything.
It's too much, man. Like
everything.
Luigi's Mansion, like come on, man.
Just dominating.
How much more?
Fashion Week.
And Nico Mannion, like
we got enough things going on. Anyway, yep.
Yeah. You guys completely threw me off. What was I even talking about? And then a new sport for me anyway. I watched the climbing today.
Yeah, I know you did.
The climbing was fire. I tweeted about it.
Cool.
Apparently it's straight fire. Apparently it's awesome. Everybody's been talking about it.
It was 3 events. Speed climb, where you have to race another person up the wall. Then they do bouldering, which is basically there's a series of overhangs. Where the degree of like the wall slants that way, and you have to climb. It's more of a technical thing. You have to climb up like 4 or 5 pieces and get to the top, and then hold your position for like 3 seconds. But it's like really difficult, and it gets more difficult as you go along. And you have as many attempts as you like in 5 minutes to try and get and hold your position twice on whichever one you choose. You can skip them, like high jump, you can skip heights, you can skip 2 more difficult ones if you want to as well, and that will help your score. And there's 2 brothers that were dominating early, called Mawam. They're French. And then the athlete that was in second place was Japanese, after 2 events. And then the final event, I've forgotten what it's called. It's called lead, which is where you have to, it's like you're climbing a mountain. You have to take care of your own harness and clip into all of the clippings as you go up. And there's like 42 holds. and you have to try and get to all of them basically and climb up to the top. The faster you do it, the better, but they don't race because it gets increasingly more difficult the higher you climb. And you saw like people falling off at the 20-something mark and the 30-something mark. I didn't see anyone actually complete the whole thing. I don't know if anyone did, but yeah, that's like the flagship climbing event. It was interesting, very different, very, very different to anything else.
Speed climbing is cool. I did watch some highlights.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that was awesome.
And no rope, so if you fall, you die.
They absolutely have harnesses. Don't listen to Tom.
It's a brutal version of the. Can you imagine?
Well, damn.
Nice.
Yeah. It's either gold or
they get the best rating, man.
Yeah, but on the same note, though, it's like it's actually super awesome to see all those new hip sports being added. 3-on-3 skateboarding, climbing and stuff like that. I think this is refreshing in terms of sports. There, I was watching was equestrians today, like horses and stuff. It's not the same flavor. It hasn't got the same speed, but it's still funny to watch. Though it's quite cool. It's the skills that is involved. It's banging.
Well, what about like every sport that involves a horse? The horse doesn't get a medal, do they? Should give a medal to the horse, man.
It should.
Do they care?
Right?
They should. Something that they'll enjoy. They should walk out. They should stage a walkout. Protest.
Hay medal, they can eat it.
Or they should do a sit-in.
I'm just actually Googling it. Do horses
get a medal, man?
You have to check, man. You have to fact check these things.
I have to fact check this thing.
You have to be right.
They don't.
Wild. Who'd have thought? Jose, you been watching anything else? You seen anything fun and interesting elsewhere?
Yeah, so I really find triple jump. I can't remember her name now, from Venezuela.
Yeah,
she got the world record.
New world record.
Oh, really?
What an amazing performance, man! Did you see her? I think it was like 1675, something like crazy.
Yeah.
Like she jumped from the 3-point line like a dunk, something like that. But that was amazing, and I also loved on high jump that they shared the gold medal. The guy from Qatar,
that was awesome.
The Italian,
another Italian medal.
I think that's a proof. Yeah, another Italian. That's a proof of sportsmanship. I did read, I actually have a friend that posted something about it saying like, what's the point? I'm like, mate, like, shut up. Like, this is the whole point of the Olympics. It's not just winning. Of course it's winning, but it's competing. And they both got to that point. Like, what's the point in, losing? Like, we got there. Do we have the option? I thought that was fantastic. And they both know each other as well. That's why they did it.
They're
like,
friends,
they train together. They know how. Yeah, so I love that. I think that was that's pure sports right there, isn't it? That's a sport, the spirit of sports.
And that's what the spirits of the Olympics are about. That's literally what it is. I also seen a couple of people on Twitter going, "Oh, give me a break. This is so stupid. Like, we need somebody to win." And I was like, the original thing about the Olympics was, you crown somebody as a champion, but also it's about sportsmanship, and it's about being not only a winner on the court or on the field, but also off it. And like, if you watch the video, it's so amazing. I actually, watching the video, what made me happy is not that the fact that they accepted. It's like they just looked at each other and they went, like, they even talk about it. They just went, just go, go for it. Like, that was awesome. Like, you can tell they're really friends, because they're like, they even say like, should we go with this? Come on. I love it. They just went, go, fuck it, let's go, let's get it.
I absolutely loved it.
It was celebrated, man. Yeah,
I think that's probably my favorite moment of the Olympics. I think, to be honest.
Yeah, it was cool to see. It was cool to see for sure, and just good that they let them do it, because they could have just made them jump, like keep jumping, right? They had already all failed at the next height. Yeah, I love the Olympics, man. It's just a shame that it being 2 weeks rather than 3 means that you don't get to see as much as you normally do.
Yeah, many things.
Things are on at the same time and stuff like that.
Tom, can we stay with you in the 2024 Olympics?
Oh yeah. If I move to Paris by then, I'll stay that place.
I'm sure you have a friend or someone. Just hook us up, man.
Come on.
2024, I'll do my best to get some tickets for the basketball, like whatever game it is.
Oh,
like,
we have
I
to
need to be there.
No, we have to get tickets. Like we will get tickets.
No,
It's just a matter of where I'm staying, man. So if I can stay with you, let me know. Yeah?
I still have a cousin that lives in Paris, so before he moves back to where I'm from, hopefully it's a bit about 2024.
I'll stay with Paul Pogba. He'll be a PSG player by then.
Oh, by then I hope so. Yeah.
Oh,
hurts my soul.
Maybe he will play for the Nets, man.
Speaking of the Nets, they are signing.
And that's your episode title, Pogba to the Nets.
They are signing all of the point guards. All of them. Every last one of them.
yeah, Pogba to the Nets.
Yeah, man. They have all the players. All the players.
When they were already signing every single player last season, so why not saying just specialize yourself into getting point guards this year? You know, it's like what's the trade, the cards you collect, like for the Euros, Paninis, whatever. So they're doing the same with players, just like, which one you got? We got
all the point guards are just like need. Dude,
the Nets are like me on eBay when they see old school video games and they go, I'm gonna get this. Do you have the money for it? No, doesn't matter. Get it. You know, it's the same.
Keep getting them. So they already
pushes you to get it, right?
Yeah.
They already had the issue of who was going to handle the ball between Harden and Kyrie Irving, right? They have now signed Goran Dragic, Patty Mills, and Spencer Dinwiddie. They are trading Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
But what the hell,
Wizards.
guys? To the Wizards, yeah. They're trying to work out the deal. What the hell, man? Why are they hogging them all? But yeah, there's just been a bunch of deals. I guess we'll start with the biggest ones. Chris Paul has agreed to a 4-year deal with the Suns. So he's going to stay there. What's the details of the deal here?
Well, it's a 120 for 4 years.
Okay, so 30 mil a year, right in the ballpark of where I thought he would get. Yeah.
Well, no, I think it might be 40 in the first year and then decreasing because they need to pay the younger guys. So like Aiton's got to get paid, so it's got to increase also.
Yeah.
So I think it might be like 40, 35. No.
Yeah,
40, 30, 25, 20. Something like it might work out that way. But
that would make sense. Yeah, because Bridges' deal is coming up. Aiton's extension's coming up as well. And at some point, Cam Johnson will be eligible for an extension as well. Yeah, again, I had a conversation about this last week in another group chat with the NBA UK fans people. So shout outs to, I think, Liam Horsey and Suns Fans UK. We were discussing it in there. And I said that they should do something like this where they front load his deal and then have it be cheaper on the back end. He's going to be 40 when the deal finishes. And it's insane. We're going to talk about this a little bit more as we go through the other deals, but it's insane that now like 34, 35-year-olds are getting these huge deals, where before, once you hit like 33 or 34, you would be lucky to get like a 1-year deal in the double digits, and then you would just sign 1-year deals to the end of your career.
Yeah. What do you think this is though? Like are we seeing more longevity in NBA players? Like so is this related to, new technology, new medicine? Like people know, like, now we know more about the human body. We have better techniques. We know about food more. We know about recovery. We know about training. Like, is it directly related to that?
Yeah, it is that. Absolutely. And then these players are not only they're playing better later. The CBA is set up in a way that you can get more money later in your career now. That last deal that they signed basically enabled Chris Paul to pay himself 40 million a year and then get traded to Houston. And what we've seen with Kawhi Leonard opting out as well at the end of his 10th season is because he's now eligible for these big year 10 plus deals. And then, you couple that with better longevity. Obviously, Kawhi is coming off an injury, but we've got Kyle Lowry, who signed a 4-year deal at the age of 35. And then Jimmy Butler, who signed a huge deal at the age of 33. He's another player who actually, Steph signed the huge 200 million extension. It's what is weird to me is that someone like Jimmy Butler, who has had injury problems, had an injury-plagued season, has gotten a big deal. Kyle Lowry missed a few games this season with injury as well, and he's gotten a big deal
to an extent.
Yeah. And then, but CP3 is different because he always used to get injured, and then he changed his diet. He changed his diet and went vegan before that OKC season, and has barely been injured since.
Yeah, the injuries is picking up right now. It's more like a knock somewhere, or like a thing, dislocated finger.
It's getting hit.
It's getting hit, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer like ACL or something.
Muscle injury or.
I just looked up the details of his new contract. It's actually increasing. It's 26 first season, 29 the second, 31, and then 33. So he's actually increasing every single year. So it's pretty level, but it's
they should have done it the other way. They definitely should have done it the other way. Yeah.
It is odd though, because I remember growing up, it's like when you get to like 32, 33, like usually management and the coaches start looking at you like, you're about to fall apart, man. So that's your last contract. You're out at 34.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a mix. It's a mix, like you said. It's like the knowledge in recovery, the knowledge in injuries and how to recover from them, the knowledge in diet, the knowledge in preparation. Also, I don't think nowadays, do you remember there's like that 80s, 90s vibe where you go on holiday, you'll cut for a month or two and you just go party. And I think nowadays players are just actually go and they keep on playing. Like, do you see now
they keep working?
You keep working out. Like they might go for a week somewhere, and then bang, they suddenly you see them on mixtapes playing tournaments.
Ben Simmons is back in the gym. He's back. Posted some pictures, guys. So it begins.
Yeah. I mean, he's taking a long ass break, but he's back. He's back. Is he going into the summer league? So is he on the Sixers roster for the summer league? Benefit from that.
That's where he made the most shots in his NBA career.
Should have gone to the Olympics. We'll be in the semis right now. Proving a point, Be like it.
Yeah.
Look, guys, may not be scoring either, but I'm in semis here. Boom. Averaging zero a game.
Would have been good for his confidence.
He could defend KD. I mean,
he could have
100%.
Could help Australia, to be honest.
Yeah. Another older player that's gotten a big deal is Mike Conley, who signed a 3-year, 68 million according to Shams, 72.5 according to Woj. I don't acknowledge Woj, but I think Woj has the right number. So he's taken a nice little pay cut to stick around there. Who else? Is there any other older people with the deals? Go ahead.
With big deals. No, I was going to say, if you want old people, just look at your team. We can move to the Lakers. But
whoa!
But I mean, old people are signing contracts, but not as big as this one. Like,
the Rose.
I mean, you can say Derrick Rose. Rose signed a 43 million to continue in the Knicks
for 3 years, right? He's 32.
DeRozan is gonna, I don't have the details on DeRozan yet, but he's gonna go to the Bulls, isn't he?
Yeah,
what did we say for DeRozan? Yeah.
I don't think we've got the numbers quite yet, but yes, DeRozan has gone to the Bulls in a sign and trade.
Oh, there you go. 3 years deal, 85 million.
What did you get back?
Full Bulls Spurs sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan is a 3 years deal, 85 million, including Young Aminu 2025 first round pick and 2022-2025 seconds to San Antonio.
Only one first.
Yeah, only one first. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
but we signed Zach Collins though.
Yes, you did, from Portland, the guy that hasn't played for 2 years.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know that COVID hit the league.
Things are looking good in San Antonio. He just lost Patty Mills too.
He's so out of it. He doesn't know what's going on.
Patty Mills, Rudy Gay, DeRozan.
Yeah, who are you getting on the Spurs though? It's like it's a wasteland.
We got the 2 draft picks. We got Josh Primo.
No, Spurs already had like a lot of play, like Lonnie Walker,
Doug McDermott,
DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Derek White. Like the Spurs had a lot of players already.
I still think we need some more firepower. I think.
Well, McDermott.
That's another podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Another episode.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Pop needs to retire differently to this. Who else was I going to mention? Speaking of the Bulls, Lonzo Ball was the first deal over the line. He signed a sign and trade bang on 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah,
they worked that deal out really quickly.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Caruso
has also gone to the Bulls to back him up. Or probably start over him and Levine. 37 million over, is it 3 years or 4? 4 years? 4 years, I think. 37.
Years, yeah.
About 9 million a year. Just under that. Sad, man.
Oh, Duncan Robinson, who resigned for Miami for 5 years, wasn't it? 5 years in.
Yeah.
Which is the Heat is doing a good job right now. So the East is going to be interesting. The East is going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, I think we've got a few more teams that are going to be in that sort of Hawks, Wizards range of talent. It will be interesting. That the East is gaining in depth, it feels like. So you've got the Heat. Heat now have a Lowry, Butler, Robinson, Bam.
It's going to be interesting to see the Heat, actually. I was thinking about that all day. Like, I did want Rosen to go there, to be honest.
Tucker.
But PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker. The Heat.
Defensively, they'll be good luck moving them, you know.
They're going to be thick.
It's going to be thick in there.
It's going to be interesting to see Lowry and PJ Tucker.
Trae Young also extended his. Yeah.
The Heat body weight measurements.
Fournier, Evan Fournier went to New York. That's a big signing.
The Knicks.
Yay. The Knicks
firepower.
The Knicks is actually doing something weird. They
resigning everyone.
They resigned everything. They just went with continuity and just carried on. Let's run this stuff again. I mean, I'm very intrigued to see how that's going to play out, because running again with the same players when you had an unexpected season, like successful season, because obviously
that's what happened to Miami, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's either going to be an amazing run or it's going to blow up in our faces and we'll end up 12 or something. So
especially with the Bulls getting better, with the Heat getting better and stuff like we saw what the Hawks did last year.
No more surprises also, that factor's gone.
Yeah. And then Randall do it again?
That's the biggest one.
The Lakers and the Nets are signing everybody else available, basically, you know?
Yeah.
Ariza,
Let's move on to the Nets.
Bazemore.
The Nets and the Lakers, man, like, they're signing everybody.
Carmelo has gone to the Lakers. LeBron and
Carmelo.
Anthony.
First time they're going to play together, man. That's going to be good to watch.
That's insane.
But it's all on one-year deals, right?
Yes, everyone's on a 1 year deal, and it's all minimums because we can't sign anything else.
So
the only penny we're waiting to drop is what happens with Schroeder, whether we're going to re-sign him or whether we're going to sign and trade him. But all the teams that needed a point guard now have point guards. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up.
What did he want? Like a max contract?
No, he wanted 20 mil a year, 20 mil plus.
Mil a year. Okay. I don't. That's the thing with him, is that I don't know if he's really worth that. I don't think he does, but
he's lost all of his leverage. The only leverage he has is that the Lakers have yet to sign a backup point guard. Like if the Lakers were able to land Patty Mills, then they could basically just do whatever they wanted with him. But as yet, with the Nets picking up all the backup point guards on the market, we'll see. We'll see if he. If he would even want to stick around to back up Westbrook, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to do that? Because you play 5 minutes. I mean, let's talk about the retirement home days. You're now the Lakers, right? Because you guys signed somebody who's 37, 36, 33, 35, 32.
Wow.
I think the youngest one is Malik Monk, 23, who is probably going to end up in the G League at that rate, because it's like, you can't play with us. Just a young one.
Young.
You can't.
Doesn't
You're running
understand
too
basketball.
fast. You're just running too fast. Like we can't play catch up with you. So trade him.
That's it. Trade him.
I'm just gonna go back to the Nets, see what they look like on the
very old team, but it's an experienced team, and LeBron likes experienced players that know how to play. So we're gonna see. Also players that won't shrink being Lakers, like Ariza's coming back, Howard is coming back, Bazemore's coming back, Ellington, Wayne Ellington is coming back. So they're not going to shrink from the moment. They're not going to, when it's sweaty palm time, it's a
very ballsy team. Yes, that's for sure.
It's a bold ass team.
It almost makes me feel like that. That again, I'm going back to that Sunday morning pickup games. Like that, the team of grown men you play, and you're like, we're gonna roll over them, but then they end up winning by 25, and you never see the balls.
Yeah, vets.
That'd be them.
Vet ball. The regular season's gonna be rough.
Do you think that this free agency has been more interesting than last free agency?
Yeah, it has. So.
Yeah, but the names are not bigger, but it's just the movements and the sort of worlds that are being created, like on each side of the country. Is like, it's like massive super teams, like black holes taking everything in, even though they don't need it. It's like, almost doesn't make any sense.
But Jeff Green left the Nets. He went to the Nuggets, signed a short deal there. I think he played his way into that spot. I think he's going to take a lot of the Millsap minutes. And I think he'll replace a lot of what they lost with Jeremy Grant. But him and Aaron Gordon there filling in at the 4, I think it's going to be a nice rotation at that position for them. I think they took back Will Barton as well on a 2-year deal early on.
But I think Will Barton is more like because he's the guy who got Jokic to integrate himself. Like apparently they're best friends off the court, and the story is that he's the guy who made sure that Jokic would integrate himself into the US society, if you will, and understanding what's going on and all this stuff, teaching the language and everything. So it's more for off the court.
Veteran. I mean, he was starting. He was
starting as well.
But I can't think. Is there anything we've missed?
Hang on, I'm just going back to the
Rudy Gay to the Jazz.
Good pickup.
I mean, he's a good veteran that's going to give you 10 points, 12 points whenever you need him. I think
good defense.
Good movement. Like the Jazz needed that. Yeah.
Oh, Cameron Payne signing a 3-year deal with the Suns after being an awesome backup point guard in the playoffs 100. And in this regular season. That took Chris Paul. I think it's pretty cool.
We didn't talk about Drummond, man. Drummond going to Fila.
Going to back up Joel Embiid after their back and forth in the past years. What did he say? He said he lives rent-free in Drummond's head. And now they're on the same team, so Drummond doesn't have that headache anymore. A few other centers have moved. Olynyk signed a 3-year deal at the Pistons.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee has gone to back
Robin
up
Lopez.
DeAndre Ayton. Where did Robin Lopez go?
The Magic.
Lopez.
Oh, interesting.
Somebody
Tice
won there.
sign and trade to the Rockets.
Yep.
Blake Griffin staying at the Nets. Continuing his veteranship there.
Cody Zeller to the Blazers.
Really?
Making moves.
That is random. Dame's
1 year
gonna be
Sam
like,
Decker is coming back from wherever he was
Sam
playing.
Decker was in Russia.
Toronto.
Well, he
Russia,
was
okay.
he was on the I've seen him playing in the Euro Cup or whatever. It's nothing. It's like just another
He's
player.
not good enough to play in the NBA. I think.
Oh, he's barely good enough to be in Europe.
Watching him play in college, because he made it to the Final Four in 2015. I remember watching him. He played in the same team as Frank Kaminsky, I think.
Yes.
And I said, this guy, he might get drafted, but yeah, he's just nah. And there we go. He not good enough.
So yeah, I said he was in Russia. He was actually in Turkey this year, but meh.
Rashawn Holmes got his payday. I think it was a $55 million deal to stay at the Kings. We weren't sure if he was going to get paid there or not. Knicks re-signed Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel, Rose, as we said. They signed, what's his name? Randall to a sheet.
Did we say Trey Lyles was just left the Spurs?
We don't need to.
We can say it. Detroit for 2 years.
Which is fine.
Batum staying with the Clippers.
But Batum, yeah.
Yeah, Batum. And Tristan Thompson going to as well.
I think we mentioned everyone.
The Kings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The Warriors managed to grab Porter Jr. Otto Porter Jr. Is he a junior? Otto Porter. And then there was someone else I just saw that I wanted to mention as well. Oh, the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Signed Reggie Bullock from the Knicks.
Good. Take him away from us.
And re-signed Tim Hardaway, didn't they?
Yeah, they did re-sign him.
And Luka will be re-signing. Will be signing his extension or re-signing for like 200 mil 5 years thing after the Olympics.
Yeah. Trey Young signed a similar deal. And who was it that got 175? Was it Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Yes.
Yeah, SJ.
Yep.
Yeah. So 175, smaller deal because he changed teams, but also a max deal, I believe.
What are the big names that are yet to sign? I think apart from Kawhi, Schroeder. Oh, Oladipo, I think is one.
Yeah,
he's going to end up on the Nets, of course.
Cousins is still available, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. He's said to be going back to the Warriors. The deal hasn't been done yet, but it's said that he's gonna.
I read that. Yeah.
Danny Green. I thought Danny Green was signed.
Danny Green might go back to the Lakers. I read that, isn't it?
I hope he does. We need some more age.
Frankie Smoke.
No.
He's
the free agent.
Frankie Smoke.
Oh, he like the Knicks went, nah, we don't need you anymore. So boom, he's available.
All right. Going back to France?
I think the only team that can sign him is probably us. So no, thanks.
The Spurs.
I'll pass. Yeah, Spurs can take him.
Spurs need another guard.
That's the other team, the French team in the NBA. You guys need scoring. Get him. Hassan Whiteside is still out there.
He is, but he wasn't playing. Was he on a roster at the end of last year?
Who knows?
Man, the Bulls are gonna score points and let points in a lot.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I think that is that. I ain't got any more.
No,
Oh man,
That's it for now, I think.
it's pretty thorough. We'll get back next next episode. I think we'll have more, right?
Oh man, I'm just looking at this list of the Lakers players. This shit is funny, man. Kent Bazemore's like the youngest after after Malik Monk. That is wild.
Yeah.
Ice bath party, baby. So that concludes our episode. Thank you for listening and watching. We will have another episode towards the end of the week, I believe Friday. You sure you guys don't want to do weekend just so we can cover the finals, or should we?
When's the finals? On the 7th, right?
We
Saturday.
can discuss this.
Saturday. Oh,
Yeah.
Saturday. What time?
We'll discuss off mic.
Can discuss
It's overnight though. It's overnight.
Okay, good.
So we'll go back into the lab and see when we'll be back, but we will be back at the end of the week. So remember to get at us on social media at Grit and Grind Pod. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on whatever platform you listen to. 5 stars, please. If not, keep it to yourself. And I have been your host, David Sagoe. He has been Thomas Arnal.
Yes. Catch us on onlyfans.com/Grit and Grind Pod.
Of the Catching Up with the Nerds pod. Put out a couple the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And Jose Garcia Vidal.
Goodbye.
And we're out of here. Shoot threes, take dunks and layups, free throws only. Stay out the mid-range, y'all. We out.